this is Spec Ops 56 coming to you from the gunsmithing bench here in the man cave. Now today I wanted to do an update to my review of the Hawk 981R 870 clone Chinese made shotgun that I did a review on earlier. And also I wanted to show you and talk about some modifications and improvements that I'm in the process of making to it. Now, as far as mechanical operation and reliability, I have no complaints about this shotgun. And in the rounds that I put through it, it's functioned flawlessly. However, my one complaint about this shotgun is about the finish. This finish, this black finish that they put on it, is extremely thin and not at all durable. Now, I don't know if you can see this very well, but just looking on the magazine tube here, just normal functioning of the slide action, you can hopefully see how much scratched and worn this finish is. I mean, this finish is so thin that you know, if you look at it wrong, you're going to get a scratch or a scuff in it. So I'm not real happy with that, and it's not going to be good for the long term. So one of the modifications I'm making to it is I'm going to refinish this thing with the Brownells Alumahyde II in OD green. Now the Alumahyde II is an epoxy based paint that is no bake, and it's all the reviews I've seen on it is very durable, and it should work really well for this application. And I think the OD green with the black furniture is going to look pretty cool. Now, as you can see, this is how I got it masked so that I don't get, I just use some duct tape here because I don't want to get paint on the inside of the receiver. I put the stock screw in it to give me something to hang it from, to dry and to spray paint, which we'll be doing later in the video. As far as the barrel goes, just some masking tape here. I don't know how well you can see it, but I put masking tape on the inside here and cut it. I also put some masking tape around the sight. Now this sight is a replacement. That's one of the modifications I put on it, is a fiber optic sight, which should be a lot better than the little brass bead that was on it before. Now, I also don't want to get the paint inside the barrel, so what I did to seal that off here, I just took a styrofoam packing peanut, wrapped a couple of the blue masking tape around it, and then just shoved it in there. It fits nice and tight and should keep the paint out. Now, another modification improvement that I've done to this is I'm replacing the original stock and 4-in set that came on it with the Hogue rubber covered buttstock and 4-in set, because I like the rubber covering to give you a much better secure grip, and this is a much better stock and has a better recoil pad on it. Now, the one thing that you need to know is that while this is an 870 clone and most parts fit on it, not all do. This is the original rubber 4-in, rubber covered 4-in that came with the Hogue set. Now, if you'll remember my previous video, I had put the Tacstar pistol grip 4-in on this originally, and it fit with no problems. However, the Hogue 4-in does not fit at all, because the diameter of the hole here is just too small. You just if you tried to force it on, you just break it. So I put the original 4-in back on it, but I still wanted the feel of the rubber covering. So what I did, I tried an experiment, and it worked out pretty well. I went and bought this can of the Performix plasti-dip rubber coating. This is the type of rubber coating that you would spray on car bumpers and side view mirrors and that sort of thing to touch up the rubber coating on those. Well, I just masked this off, and I ended up spraying 4 light coats onto here, and now it worked out real well. I've got a real nice feel to it, and it didn't completely fill in the checkering, even with 4 coats, but it coated the checkering quite well. So if you're looking for some rubber coating on your fore-end, this would be the way to go. It really works quite well. That's it until we start spraying the finish. I'm going to be using the Brownells recommended technique that they have in their instructional video on their website, in which I will spray a light coat, then in between coats I'll use a hair dryer to dry it, to touch, and then put the next light coat on, and I'll do that for probably about 4 coats, and then it's supposed to dry to the touch in an hour or 2, but it takes a couple of weeks to fully cure. So we'll be doing that next on this video. And so until then, till we get to painting, we'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back. I left you on Friday when we were about to go and paint the metal parts of the Hawk 981R. I had originally intended to film my actually painting the receiver and barrel, but I decided not to bore you with that, because all I'm doing is using the same technique shown in the Brownells video, which is a much better video than I could do. So I have put a link to that down here in the address box, the description box, so that you can go to the 2 videos that I used for reference. Now it's been a few days. Today is Tuesday. I've had the pieces hanging up in the man cave for that time. And while it's not fully cured yet, that'll be about another week before it's fully cured. It has dried completely to the touch. So I wanted to show it to you up close, what the results are so far. And also give you a heads up on a few problems I encountered while spraying this Alumahyde II. So we'll go to a better camera angle. And I'm doing, by the way, I switched to HD for this segment so that you can see the the finish looking as best as I can show it to you. And I'll probably do the rest of this video in HD. I'm still experimenting with the HD function on my camera, so bear with me. So we'll be right back in just a second with a closer look at the results I've gotten so far with the Alumahyde II. Okay, I wanted to show you a little more close up the results I've gotten so far with the Alumahyde II. I used the OD Green Alumahyde II, and it looks pretty decent. I want to give you a heads up on a few problems that I did have with it. Now, with the Alumahyde II, you've got to shake it very, very well before you start, and continue shaking it as much as possible while you're spraying it. Well, we did all of that. We shook it for like 6 minutes before we started, and continued to shake it while spraying. But unfortunately, after about the second light coat, what started happening was the nozzle started clogging and it started spitting and splattering. This is a piece of the plastic that I was using to catch all the back splatter and back spray, and this shows you some of the splattering that it did. This is something you're going to have to be aware of. See, I had bought a bag of extra nozzles, of 12 extra nozzles, went from Brownells when I bought this, and we ended up going through 5 of them. And I mean, it's really bad about clogging up the nozzle. It got to the point where we had to change out the nozzle at least once per coat, and so that's something you really need to be aware of and be prepared for. Now, as you can see, it coated pretty well. I used about three. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 light coats, like it shows in the Brownells video, and then 1 heavier coat for the final coat. Only problem I had was with that splattering. It caused some, as you can see, some speckling in the finish here. I will say, however, that as it's been curing, it has started to level itself some. So I believe that once it's fully cured, just a light application of some 4-aught steel wool with maybe a little oil over it, just to level that out, I think is all the finish we'll need. But as you can see, it's not too bad at all, even as it is. And it did pretty decent coverage. I may end up giving it one final coat after I've leveled it and it's cured, just to make sure of complete coverage. And so that's all I have on it for now. I wanted you to see where the results are so far in this little project. And when I go to level it out in about another week or so, then I'll let you see how that turns out. And if I decide it needs a further coat, then I'll show you the results of that. And once it's all done, I'll put it all back together and show you the final results. So that's all I have for now. I'll see you in the next segment.
Any man don't want to get killed. Better clear on out the back.